The,
Delete it
the,
for
the,
you.
the... Oh, there we go.
Hey, you
Okay.
see a few guys just working around. Some are dwarfs, some are human. They all seem to have a slightly different
Mm.
like tavern than you, but it looks to be a much more functional brewing setup to what you originally remember from when you were here.
Mm.
Um, and without an outer wall, this river that's going through it now is like crystal clear water, and it's clearly like this place was manufactured to brew. The rest of it is like here in like it's just not a thing.
Yeah. Okay. Um, it just went black.
Yeah, it's fine. Um,
It's
just
not fine. I was looking at it.
Same.
It's fine. It's fine. I know I'm black because I turned on fog of war.
Yes. Right. Well, these small peasants, is there any of those who seem to be more in control of the other, or is it like they're all just working?
From what you can see, they just seem to be working. They all seem
Okay.
happy. None of them. No one seems begrudging to be there. If you get me, that
Yeah,
makes sense.
sure.
They all seem pretty well up. You see I can't remember what the actual names is, but I think it's a still sort of thing here.
Mm-hmm.
These are like not kegs, but these are distilling areas. So like different ales would be filtered in all of them. They're piped together, so you have your main tankard here, and as they mature in different ways, or they evaporate from here, they would go into these and make different types of alcohol.
Right.
I don't know how much you know
I
about
think I
alcohol
would
making,
like
but that's what it is.
to just approach the nearest guy.
Cool. What you say?
Hello.
Hi, how may I help you,
I
sir?
yes, I am looking for whoever is in charge.
Oh, why are you planning to? Are you hoping to get a job, or do you have an order for us? We're very busy. We just after made a
Um,
lot of beer and the finest wines for harvest, and now we're just trying to get back up and running. As you can see, we have a mighty fine brewery around here.
I am happy to hear that. I actually have not a business deal, but a discussion to yeah, a business discussion to have.
Oh, business, buying or selling?
Hopefully a bit of both.
Oh, I like the cut of your jib. At a mighty fine tavern. Are you from another brewery that we might be aware of?
Um,
And it's a bit ripped at the top. Like what happened at the near your shoulder there? Like you should get that repaired by some sort of seamstress.
nah, I keep it as a remarkable almost scar, I guess. But I have yet to brew at a brewery, although I were. Oh boy, I'm really treading deep water here. Although
Apprentice, is that the word you look for?
no, yeah, well, not really. I were looking to get into brewing through, and then I named the Brewers Guild,
Cool.
which is Alts, hoping that he knows it,
The
even
guy
though
who
it's
came up with it himself. I gotta presume that was it because that sounds like the letters that I can vaguely remember not being able to read.
ALD set is should be the name of
Yeah,
the guild, which
sounds
is
about
in the
right.
future, but hopefully in the past too.
Yeah. Well, they had the big fallout. It's like elves. Oh, that's the name of one of our founders. A dwarven man, very handsome, much like yourself. May I add? Well,
Uh,
I've never heard of a guild named after his family.
um, well, that is very weird. But thank you. Um, I need to learn the history of my guild.
You
Anyway,
wrote the damn thing.
yes, and I would have thought that the outfall would have happened already. Um, but okay. But yeah, I am looking to first buy, but also looking for some transport to one of the main islands.
Oh, transport, you say? Okay. Yeah, we have a shipment going from like this is. Well, I don't mean to brag, but this is the. We only brew the finest ales and wines here well, we don't really brew wine, as you know yourself, but this is our main. We only build like the top shelf stuff here. Like we ship it all over the world. We ship it right back to while I go and look at the map to get the names. We sell to all the main cities. You know, Neolaptin, Bloodtree, Ashpill. The other one I can't read. Because my brain is completely screwed right now.
So is this like pornographic alcohol?
No, it's just they ship it everywhere.
Because you said it was top shelf.
No, it's just like top shelf wine. Because you know, you're like if you go to a supermarket,
the best.
Yeah.
Right, gotcha.
But wouldn't you want the best thing to be in the middle shelf because that is where it is most approached by customers?
No, it's too expensive for them.
You're selling to dwarfs or like giants, right?
Yeah, true. Like if the main audience are dwarves, gnomes, and halflings and humans, you would want it in the middle shelf, not the top shelf.
Nah, they can't afford it. They can't afford it, sir. They can't afford it.
Sure.
This is only for the most discerning customers.
Let's see.
But yes,
I am just looking for that map again. I took a picture of it. There we go. Are we?
you're on the
Do we
island
know
of
of
Gates.
any? Yeah. Sorry. Do you have any shipments going south from here?
South. Ooh, you're going on a world venture, are you, sir? Well, we have an order for someone, but like we weren't. It's a bit far out of our reach. It goes to the what's the name of the continent? The Afrikaans. It's about a month trip, but we weren't sure if we could find enough suitors to take up to be on the boat. And we're looking for a crew of, well, ideally we want 5, but 3 might be able to manage the ship if we can get enough people. But it's an awful long trip, and you're going to have to brew on the way to make sure that the quality is up to our standards.
Well, I do have 2 friends. Although they aren't brewers, they are quite good at both handling themselves on ships and in combat if that were to happen.
Well, yeah, well, of course, they can't all be brewers. Someone needs to captain the ship, you know? Like,
yes.
Obviously, that would just be silly.
And I myself will have a go at the brewing.
Come. Well, of course, come. You'll need to talk to my boss. What is your name, sir?
Ebrius of Alts.
Ebrius. Pleasure to meet you, and may Karametra be with you always. So he brings you along. You have a bit of chit chat. He asks you about like this type of wheat over that type of wheat, and you go back and forth a bit on different like particular types of grain and what they're better at, like producing whiskies or stuff like that.
At that, could we keep that chit chatting so I can write notes about it?
Not on my mind, because I don't fucking know much.
Wait, I need something here, you know. I'll just write like personal notes about brewing then.
Yeah, well, I could bring my sister. She is a brewer, but like, I do have the name of one. You talk particularly about this beautiful blonde ale that you know how to make. While I search through and get the number.
Brew number 57, the blonde beer.
Yeah, the blonde beer.
I have the ratio and a good knowledge of it.
Yeah, so he goes, "Ooh, that sounds very, very interesting. We should try that. We're struggling to sell beer or some of the beers out of this place, and that could be like the idea of adding some honey and a small bit of rose petal, that would just take away that bitterness, and that I could just imagine the notes and of flavor coming through that. Quick, like right. He goes. He points you into the building. You can push yourself.
Yeah, I can. Just be careful with what you mentioned, because I've now wrote that brew 57 involves honey and roses.
Only a drop or two of honey. You want to add the sweetness of the sugar, but sugar helps.
But is it
just a drop?
The medicine go down?
No, it's to help the fermentation.
Honey?
Yeah, it's just regular honey. None of that psychedelic stuff. Jesus, they can't afford that. Fucking make the pint of beer cost a couple grand. But yeah, no, it's a few drops to help the fermentation of the alcohol,
Mhm.
because sugar breaks down into alcohol for those
Yes.
who know about alcohol. That's about all I know. And you walk inside, and inside, I'm going to give it a different. I'll make it someone you'll find nice. For some reason, he is tiny. You see a dwarf in front of you. He is like, he's got loads of glasses in front of him, and they're all like proper, like you're talking about modern day glasses, where like he can see through, and he's like tasting bits, and he's going, yeah, this does, and he's like, you can see him doing that. And the guy who brought you in here and was talking with you, goes, this is our boss. Hey, boss, like this is Ibros. Great man. He's a brewer. He's just given us a recipe to change our blonde ale. I'm gonna use the overflow in the back and see if I can produce it. See how good it is. He says he's willing to do that trip to Afrikaans for us. You might want to vet him to make sure he's a good lad. But like, he's from another brewing guild. He's from what was it? Sorry, sir. Can you please what was his name?
Yes.
Alts. That's the one. He's from Alts Guild. I haven't heard of them myself, but they're clearly not as good as us.
I
There you go.
assume I didn't really hear that. Anyway, yeah. Sorry, may I ask your name?
My name is crud. Do I not have it? I do have it. He looks up his fantasy name generator quickly and should
Just
have
be
realized.
happy I didn't ask any of the 4 others.
Yeah, I should be happy knowing you. There we go. Dwarf names. There we go. And we get Chrisen. Chrisen is my name, sir. Chrisen Brittleaxe. Brittleaxe. Or Brickaxe. Sorry, Brickaxe. Chrisen Brickaxe. Pleasure to meet you, sir.
Brick X.
Would you like me to put the spelling into chat so you can see?
No, it's
Well,
fine.
It's in there now.
Okay.
It's not, because I'm not logged in, apparently.
Well played.
There you go. Chrisen Brittleaxe. Or Brickaxe. Sorry, Brickaxe. Sorry, I have a friend who's called Brittleback, and it's very... that's all that goes through my head.
All right. Hey, cousin. Yes, I would love to do the what was it? The Afrikaans assignment.
Yes.
Yes.
They want a shipment of 12 kegs of our finest whiskey in order to and then if it's up to their standards, which between you and me, the samples they sent us were disgusting. They would be wanting shipments on the regular, but because it's such a long and treacherous trip, like out there's the Kraken and like there's mythical creatures like I don't know, mermaids or I don't know, like there's lots of things that just the standard sailor is very scared of, and you could just fall off the face of the earth.
Yeah, that doesn't sound too bad, does it?
Well, if you believe in that, and I'm no sailor myself, born and bred in the Isle of Inishmal, well, the land of Inishmal, never set one foot on a boat. I'm going to keep it that way.
Okay, well, let me be your guy on the boat then.
Well, first,
although haven't brewed whiskey before, so if you have any tricks, tips, and advice, I would happily take them.
well, you say you've brewed some beer, or you've given our lads a recipe for blonde beer. Was it? Is that what he said?
Yes.
Like if you can brew beer, you can brew whiskey. We'll give you the recipe. All you'll need to be doing is the fermentation step, which is basically heat it up. You know yourself. You heat it up. You put it in the bottles. We don't want to do it too early, because if we do it now, we put it in the bottles, they mightn't keep the fresh flavors. And we really want to make this work. If it works, then we'll just give them the bottle shit. But this is our premium whiskey.
Sure. Okay.
It's got a triple distilled stack design, and famous by the Scotlands. I don't know if you know of them, but
Weird question. But if you have a book with all your recipes, how far down would the whiskey be, and approximately a number thereof? Would you call your whiskey the brew number? I don't know.
we don't use numbers for our code names. That would be so primitive. Some of the head ups want to do that, but like all people have to do then is just learn our number, and then they'll find the rest. They'll go, oh, we just gave them a shipment of beer number 12, and then they just go look up a book and they find all our recipes and they know which ones are which. That would just be silly. No, we call this whiskey, we call it Champion.
Champion. Thank you.
Because if anyone asks, we can just go, oh, the champion horse, the champion jockey, the champion knight, we can walk it off. But if someone just says, hey, I hear you make 56, what the hell could that mean besides alcohol? That would just be a dumb strategy.
56 added to the notes. Good.
Well, one would assume there was a 56 if there was a 57.
Well, yeah, but I didn't know if that would be the whiskey or if that would be something else.
It could just
It
be a
is,
random
it is now
number.
the 56. But yeah, okay.
Well, you'll be needing a ship. Do you have a ship, or do you need our ship? Now, if you're taking our ship, it needs a small bit of repairs. You're gonna need to bring some masts. Are you going to be sailing it, or do you need some people to help? Like, well, you say you're willing to go to the Afrikaans trip. I need at least 3 people.
Yes, I can find 2 others to help me on the journey, but a crew to man the ship would be nice.
Well,
as well as the actual ship.
That's been our problems, you see, because it's so far and people think the trip is so treacherous. We can't seem to get people to go. So, if you're willing to brew, and you say you have 2 friends, are any of them sailors?
Yes, they are.
And the third man can help, do the grunt work, lift the mast when the sailor says so, keep the boat from tipping over at night, putting down the anchor. Like, our ship has only 1 cannon on it. So if you're ever in combat, make sure the other boat's on that side. Otherwise, bit of a problem. Also,
make sure to fire first and last. Gotcha.
Well, just try to avoid other big boats. Now, it's not a big boat, big enough to have a still on it, but it takes up most of the space, makes the back a little heavy. So you gotta make sure that when you're sleeping, you put the fattest fuck in the front, right? We can, if you don't give the crew of 5, we'll need to put some ballast at the front, to make sure it's nice and balanced. Ain't the fastest ship, ain't the slowest ship, looks a bit ugly and rough, but it can sail the seas. I can assure you that.
How bad are the repairs?
How
bad of a repair does it need?
Yeah, no, just minor. When you're going on a trip this big, you want to make sure everything is perfect. You want to make sure all the ropes. If there's a small niggle on a rope, that rope is gone. You replace it. We need to replace 2 or 3 of the ropes. We need to change the main mast, or not the main mast. The main what the hell is the the main sail? That's the word. I was gonna say, what's the word for sail? The main sail. You're gonna need we're gonna replace that. We're gonna be a big, nice, brand new one. It's due in tomorrow from the repair, and then we'll keep the one that's there. It's almost perfect as a spare in case something happens. Imagine if lightning strikes. You're 2 weeks away from land. You need to repair your ship. You need all those spare parts going.
True.
True. It's not really that it's in bad condition. It's just that you need to you want it perfect going out. So if shit hits the fan, you can repair, fix things up. And if you say your man's a sailor, he'll know all the little things. Replacing a rock here, doing that. Want to make sure you and our shipment goes there and gets there safe.
Where's your ship docked?
It is docked. Well, we normally dock it in the standard, in the south of the public docks. But before this trip, we've went to head office and we've brought it into the noble quarters and we've brought it into the repair bay to get repaired. And it should be they said it will be ready in a day or 2. That was last week. We haven't heard from them. We're hoping they don't send us the bill because it cost 2 gold a day in that place. What a rip-off. it costs us $1 a month in the public docks. Like, this is horse. But we just felt like a ship of this stature, you know, with the blue sail, the beautiful
Details, yes, please.
the blue sail, the beautiful mermaid like carved on the front, the picture of Karametra on the back, you know. It's the finest ship of our thing, and especially if we're making this big trip to Afrikaans, you don't want to turn up in our ratty old, like, well, not to be spoken too loudly, but like one of our more skeevy boats to kind of wet the whistle of some of the less accepting places of alcohol.
Yes. But yeah, do we have a deal then?
Well, if you bring your guys here, we vet them, you know. Their guy's got to go over there and make the beer. Now, obviously, it takes 30 days to make 30, 40 days. I don't know what recipe you gave him to make beer. We're going to see what the early tasting signs are when we mix it up. Actually, take him. Oh, well, it's going to take him about a day, maybe. I don't know. Like, how big was your recipe? Do you tell him the recipe?
I don't know. You tell me.
Well, do you tell him it? Just yes or no. Sure.
I don't really. I mean, I've already told it to that other guy.
Yeah. So he goes, it's honey rose petal. My God, how did we not think of this ourselves? My God, man, you are a genius. That will really take that bitter note off, and that bitter note was really what's killing us in the sales. Like when people taste that bitter note, they just want an ale, and the blonde beer just wasn't selling with that bitter note. Oh. How could it be so foolish? And with honey being so plentiful on this island, and roses at this time of year, this will be a huge seller for us. That'll only take him a day for us to get the tasters out. You know, we'll know halfway through when we mix up the mulch and the hop. We'll definitely know if that's gonna work. Oh, right. So you bring those guys back here, and then, you know, if when we taste that beer, you know, if you trust them, we can trust you. Now, like, are you looking to be paid for this, or like, you know, we can pay you on the other side, but this is a big trip. Like, we're gonna be stocking the ship, we're gonna be giving you what you think you need, we're gonna have it all prepared. What do you think you need?
I don't need that much payment. All I ask is to stand a favor from this very brewery.
Well, if your beer is as good as it sounds, you got yourself a deal. He spits on his hand and puts it out to you.
I follow the dwarven gesture of spitting into the hand and giving a handshake.
It's a
guys, it's a pandemic, man.
handshake. Not in this world. They closed their borders for 3 weeks.
Sure it is.
Yeah.
Sure.
Agrees.
Let's see.
I am bursting for a pee. So, we will take 5 minutes, and then I will go to the dwarf, who is gone back
to the gnome.
Or gnome, sorry, yes, the gnome. You are the dwarf. To the gnome to see if he can find the wizard.